Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for joining me for this week's weekly psychic reading. I'm Erin Lee, and you can find the rest of my readings on my website, VancouverIslandPsychic.com. And just also a quick note as well, this month's Choose Your Own Adventure crystal reading is up. It's a lot of fun if you have any specific questions that you want or need some answers or guidance around. I'll post both of those links here, so feel free to visit those videos as well. So this is the weekly psychic reading for June the 16th to June the 22nd, 2014. And for the first time in the weekly psychic readings, we're going to be using Doreen Virtue's Healing with the Faeries Oracle card deck. And your crystal choices for the week are Apatite, Seraphonite, and Carnelian. Again, that's Apatite, Seraphonite, and Carnelian. And I've recently received a couple of comments and questions around the crystals. First of all, you don't need to be familiar with the crystal in order to choose it as your crystal for the week. In fact, it's almost better if you don't know much about the property of the crystal, because that becomes part of the reading, and the crystal that you choose to represent the message for you this week becomes part of the message for you, because I've also had people asking about talking about the different properties of the crystals beforehand, and I think that it's most important that you choose whichever crystal that you're drawn to, because again, that becomes part of the message of the reading for you. So again, one more time, your crystal choices for the week, and just choose whichever one you're drawn to, is Apatite, Seraphonite, and Carnelian. Alright, we'll move these guys off to the side for now. Oops. And we'll give the cards a shuffle. And we're going to ask our fairies what messages they have for us this coming week. And the reason that I chose this deck this week was because it feels like we've got some interesting kind of impish energy that's coming up. So it feels like we've got a bit of transformation and change that's coming up in this coming week. I know this past week there's been a bit of that kind of experience, so it feels like that's going to be carrying forward. So what we'll do is fan out the cards. And the first card is to represent Monday and Tuesday. And the message that's coming up for us Monday and Tuesday is romantic partner. So Monday and Tuesday is all about relationships, particularly romantic relationships. If you've been in a place within an existing relationship where things have been kind of rocky, kind of up and down, expect that you're going to be seeing some changes this week, particularly the first couple of days this week. Now, again, I'm kind of going back into this feeling that we've got a little bit of impishness and a bit of mischievous energy that's kind of coming up for this week. So just make sure that you're approaching anything that's happening on a relationship front, particularly romantic relationship, with a feeling of patience, calm, and try not to take things really seriously, because it feels like in lightening the mood, that's what helps to move through any sort of difficulties that you may be experiencing within relationships in general, but particularly within romantic relationships. Also, getting outside and spending time outside with your partner would also be really beneficial for you, particularly the first couple of days this week. So if you find that you're in a place where there's a lot of tension that you're experiencing, go for a walk and talk it out while you're walking. That's a fabulous way to keep yourself in a rational place so that you can be discussing things and working through things and allow emotions to be released in that way. All right, for Wednesday and Thursday, the message that's coming up is making new friends. So we're starting to move out of this feeling of kind of being withdrawn and doing our own thing, and moving into a place where we're more social and we're connecting. Interaction with people is going to be really important through the middle of this week. So again, we started off with relationships at the beginning of the week, and now we're moving into more social things. So through the middle of this week, make sure that you're making a conscious effort to connect with the people around you, get in touch with friends that you haven't spoken to in a while, and make sure you're getting out and doing things. when you're connecting with people, it feels like this is not so much going into problems and difficulties, but is moving more into fun and play. So again, the message is coming up, get outside, play, have fun, and do things that are stimulating for everybody involved. But there's a lot of energy that's coming up around lightheartedness and also encouragement in expanding your social circle or talking to people that you haven't necessarily connected with before but are kind of on the periphery. Now is a time for expansion. And looking at Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, body movement is coming up. So the encouragement for the end of the week is really to make sure that you're doing things that are active. Now is not a time to be passive, but it's really important that you're moving your body. One of the things that I love about this particular picture is that there's so much dance and freedom and just kind of getting out of your head and into your body and just allowing yourself to let go. So for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, make sure that you're doing something physically active and getting outside of your body. And there's also a feeling of moving meditation that's coming up for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday as well. So Tai Chi might be really beneficial. Dance keeps kind of popping up. So do something that, again, maybe kind of outside of the norm, maybe a bit outside of the comfort zone, but allows you to really open up and express yourself and just move through things. But we're really coming into a time of playfulness, fun, and really important that you're not taking things too seriously this week, because it feels like there might be some shifts and changes that are happening on kind of an underlying level, so it might not be right at the surface, but is likely going to be something that you experience but may not be able to completely put a finger on it. So rather than trying to delve into why is this happening, what's going on, and kind of getting caught up in that, make sure that you're doing things that are lifting you up and out of that so you can allow those changes to happen. All right, let's bring our crystals in. So if you've chosen Appetite, the message that's coming up for you this week is rise above the problems. And again, that's kind of what we were just talking about a minute ago with shifts in things that are happening and that you aren't necessarily conscious of what's happening, but just allowing yourself to move above it. And it feels like this is really important for you if you've chosen Appetite for this week. So don't get caught down in the day-to-day, in the details of what's happening, but allow yourself to move up and out of them and away. And a big part of the thing that's coming up again is making sure that you're engaging on a social level and also being physically active in some way, and nature and being outside is really important as well. And in terms of the crystal that you've chosen, Appetite is a fabulous manifestation stone. So when it comes to getting out of your head and moving forward, using positive affirmation and manifestation can be really powerful for you this week as well. So this is a really great time to set your intentions and to manifest through kind of letting go of them. All right, if you've chosen Seraphonite this week, the message that's coming up for you is around parenting and children. So this is kind of coming up on a couple of different levels. One, it could be around that this week is making sure that you're spending time with parents, children, and family in general, and that there's a lot that's happening on a relationship level for you this week. But this can also be indicative of the relationship that you have with yourself and nurturing, allowing yourself to be nurtured, but also to be moving outside of the parental boundaries that you've put in place for yourself. So a lot is coming up for you if you've chosen Seraphonite this week in terms of relationship, either with family or with yourself, but there's a lot of development. And it's interesting because the feeling that's coming up around this card is, although the rest of the message for the week has been really outgoing and spending time with other people, this feels like the time that you're going to be connecting with other people is going to be softer and not so much focused on fun, but dealing with something that is an underlying issue at hand. And it feels like you also have a lot of angelic support in doing that, which is is interesting because the crystal that you've chosen, Seraphonite, is actually one of the stones that's connected with the angels. And so know that whatever you're experiencing, whatever you're going through this week, you are definitely helped by your angels, and it's important to call on them and ask them for help in navigating this relationship and this situation. And I just want to make it clear too is that your angels are always with you. So regardless of which crystal you've chosen this week or what may be happening in your world or in your life, your angels are always there, happy to help and support you. So all you have to do is ask for that help, and it is given. And the more you can ask for it with a feeling of calm and feeling that they are there helping and supporting, the more you will be able to experience the benefits of that help. All right, and if you've chosen carnelian, the message that's coming up for you is trust your intuition. So really important, obviously, for you to be paying attention to your intuition, to the messages and the guidance that you're receiving this week. One of the things that I'm really drawn to about this card and crystal choice is that carnelian is a crystal that's very strongly associated with the sacral chakra, which for me is one of the ways that we experience gut instinct or women's intuition or anything like that. It's a very kind of basic chakra, and it's very much associated with that kind of feeling, that clairsentience, intuition. So the message that's really coming up for you if you've chosen carnelian for this week is to really pay attention to that and get into that place of being one with your sacral chakra, and in order to do that, that's kind of getting in touch with the physical aspect of things. Passion, sexuality are all very much associated with the sacral chakra, and also with intuition to a certain degree as well. So really making sure that you're doing things that you're passionate about and following your intuition and your guidance on that. In addition, if you've chosen carnelian this week, it also feels like you're going to be receiving a lot of guidance and a lot of information, and it's going to be important to make sure that you listen to that as much as you possibly can, because the more that you listen to it and then take action, the more that your intuition is going to build and grow, and the better off you're going to be, because you'll be able to make adjustments in your life so that you are living a happier, healthier, and more balanced life. I'd like to thank you so much for joining me for this week's weekly psychic reading. I'm Erin Lee, and you can find the rest of my readings on my website, VancouverIslandPsychic.com, or the Choose Your Own Adventure crystal reading. I've posted the link here as well. Thank you again so much for joining me. I'm wishing you a fabulous week.